does something in my life, it takes class participation. We believe God's a genie in a bottle, but He's not a genie in a bottle at all. In fact, when He created you, He knew you would be exactly where you are right this moment. He knew that you would have gone through 15 divorces and 4 abortions, and He knew that you would have parents that gave up on you. He knew that they would give you a pink slip at work after you almost were retired. He knew that the whole world would turn their back on you. And He said, I trust you to get through it. I trust you to put one foot in front of the other. I trust you when the whole world turns their back on you. Give it to me, says the Lord. Give it to me, says the Lord. I want you to lift up your hands and surrender right now. Father, I give you permission to wreck this place. Father, I give you permission to take that man that I won't let go of, that has left me for another woman. God, I give you permission to get me unstuck. That man wasn't even worth staying in your life, but yet they own you every day because you are stalking them on Facebook. You can't get free because you're allowing stuff in your life that wasn't even worth staying in your life to keep you bound. Because the devil's lied to you and told you that if you forgive, that it's pardoning the crime that they did against you. But God is saying, when I got off of that throne and I got onto that cross, if you would have been the only one on the planet, I would have still done it just for you. And when I stood in the middle of those 2 thieves, I stretched my arms out wide and I said, for you, it is finished. For every heartache, for every tear, for every betrayal, for every wrong accusal, for every time that you felt overlooked and taken for credit, every time you laid in bed and cried yourself to sleep, for you it is finished. For you today it is finished. Today is the best day of the rest of your life, because today is the day that you take back ownership of what God's promised you. And in His Word, He says, delight yourself in me and I will give you the desires of your heart. He says, don't get weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap. He says, for I know the plans that I have for you, saith the Lord, plans to bless you and not harm you. He says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He says that you're the head and not the tail, the top and not the bottom. You are blessed going in and blessed going out. Now, what in the world, if anything, did I just say that made you feel like you got to go home the same way you walked in? That made you feel like that you were any less than God's best? Give it to me, says the Lord. He's turning some marriages around in this place. You're sleeping in separate rooms. You ain't even talking to each other anymore because you got so much ego and so much pride. You're trying to make him break and he's trying to make you break. But when God created Adam, He created Adam because He wanted to. But when He created Eve, He created Eve because He had to. Because we birth life. And if we can birth life out of something that should not be coming out of any place, we put our foot in those stirrups and we begin to push. And I don't know about you, but I have never ever in my life heard a woman push a baby out and say, ooh, let's do that again. Ooh, that was the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. No, when you're about to give birth, you can be in more pain telling that man, if you ever touch me again, I'm gonna tear you into a million pieces. And all of a sudden that life comes out of you. And as you have a way of forgetting every single thing that you just went through for that life. And all of a sudden you're kissing that man on the lips and telling him, thank you, baby. And if God can allow you and trust you as a woman to change lives around you with just birthing life. Don't you think that your presence can change that man? That presence, when you walk into a room and you look at that man and say, hubba, hubba, hubba. Come here, big daddy. You want a man to take the trash out? He ain't hearing you when you nag. All he hears is wah, 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 wah. Take the trash out. 6 weeks later, take the trash out. I don't know why women think we can't take trash out. We got 2 hands and 2 feet just like me. We can do everything else. But take the trash out. We have more people sleeping in the guest room because of taking the trash out. When I married my good-looking, bald-headed man, I have a tendency to sit on that couch and rub that bald-headed going, baby, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. I don't even like bald-headed men. But when God gave me that man, and I realized one thing about him, he loves me. Oh, you know why I can preach in tutus? Put my hair up like this and do whatever I want to do. It's because I got a man that says, baby, you're so beautiful. While I was sitting on that front row, he's sending me texts going, baby, I like them glasses on you. He's 58. But when you get your heart right, we're going somewhere with this. When you get your heart right, when you realize that you're not going to have to make this man pay for what this man did, you're making this man pay for what this man did. Your daddy molested you when you were 4, and so now you're making this man pay for he. Don't you know it's because the enemy's after you? He's not after you because you're weak. He's after you because you're strong.